Okay, third graders, we will look at our words. This word is going to be one we come across today. This is a cell body. What is our word?
Cell body.
This is just the center of a cell. It's like the main part of that cell. Right, put that on the ground. Our next word is the word dendrite. What's our word?
Dendrite.
A dendrite is a path along which nerves send messages to the brain. So it's like that road. The dendrite is the path. Those nerves send messages to the brain. So when we are looking at those images of that body and it looks like those lines are all through it, that's that dendrite, the message, the path it's taking to send our messages. Our next word is the word reflex. What's our word?
Reflex.
The reflex is that quick reaction. And the last one we have today is the word flinch. What's our word?
Flinch.
This is going to be draw back suddenly. It's an example of a reflex. One reflex is to flinch when something happens. If someone punches you or goes to punch you really close, like we're not going to practice this today, your reaction is to flinch or move away from them, right? It's very quick. It's almost sudden without even thinking about it. We are in chapter 5 today. Chapter 5 can be found on page
32.
What can we use to help us find what page we are looking at? Tell me. Fabulous. So you guys have, at this point, I'm just going to go into it. You've already read it. So how many, or do you have 1,000 nerves in your body?
No.
No, you have more than that. You have 10,000. Is that low? Too low?
Yes.
Too low, yep. Do we have 1 million?
No.
Believe it or not, that's still too low. You have about
1,000,000.
1 billion nerves in your body. That's insane, guys. That is such a crazy amount to have in your body. That's just what it tells us. So I have a question for you. Well, we can just go ahead and turn to the next page. We're going to do a question on that one. That's a ton, though, isn't it? So do you think your nervous system is rather important or not so important?
Important.
Now, we know that muscles and bones can be big or little. Now, nerves are all going to be rather small. So that's something to keep in mind while we have billions in our body as well. And our next page, on page 34 and 35, on these pages, I want you to read to find out what do nerves do to help us keep track of what's happening in the world around us. So what do nerves do to find out what's helping keep track in the world around us? Be on page 34 and 35. What do nerves do to help us keep track of the world around us? Go ahead and reread really quick for that information. Our question is, what do nerves do to help keep track of the world around us? And you guys said it was in the very
First paragraph.
Let's read it all together. Your nerves allow you to keep track of what's happening in the world around you. The nerves send messages to the brain. Then the brain tells your body how to act. So in our own words, the brain sends messages, or your nerves, right? Your nerves send messages to the brain. Your brain tells your body how to react to that. Name some things that you could not do if your brain had no nerves. What are some things you could not do if your brain had no nerves? Aiden, what's one thing? Do you guys agree? You just really couldn't do anything? Okay. Okay, that's there. Now we're getting specific. You wouldn't be able to see. Right. You wouldn't be able to feel heat, hot or cold. Good. Joey. You wouldn't be able to hear. Apollo. This sounds awful. I'm so glad that we have nerve endings, aren't you?
Yes.
Let's look at our caption on the bottom of page 35. Our caption reads, the nervous system with a signal traveling along the nerves to the brain. So we see that signal whoop, heading on up there. Very good. Go ahead and turn the page over. This is such a cool image. This reminds me of something you would find in the ocean, but it's not an ocean creature. What is this an image of? Chloe, what is this?
I think
Dendrites.
Cell body.
Read it. Read us our caption, Chloe. She's looking in the right spot.
The stringy parts that lead away from the cell body are called dendrites.
The dendrites. So this goes back to what we saw in our vocabulary words to start. This part that I'm pointing to right here is our cell body. The paths leading away from it are the dendrites. Very good. Nice job with that. Making sure we're reading those captions at all times. Students, I want you to go ahead and go back into this. Actually, you know what? Nope, we don't need to worry about that. I want you to go back and look at this again, and I want you to answer the question. When one of the nerves in your body wants to send a message to your brain, it sends the message out along the blank. Go ahead and read. Put your finger in when you find the answer. When one of your nerves in your body wants to send a message to your brain, it sends the message out along the blank. Find it and put your finger on it. I see a handful of people pointing to the word. Make sure you're pointing where it answers the question or answers the sentence. When one of the nerves in your body wants to send a message to your brain, it sends the message out along the...
Dendrites.
Now, if I look at my text though, you're saying dendrites, which I agree. But look at all these different dendrites we see in here. Is it this one?
No.
If I read this sentence, it says the stringy parts that lead away from the cell body are called the dendrites. Did we learn about nerves being, or messages being sent along them yet?
No.
No. I find the next dendrites. You can think of the dendrites as being like roads.
No.
Nope. The next one. Oop. When one of the nerves in your body wants to send a message to your brain, it sends the message out along the...
Dendrites.
Does that one answer our question?
Yes.
I looked around and I had a handful of people pointing to this dendrites. That might be right, but is that using text evidence? We want to go back into the text to find those answers. Prove them, point to them, find it. I did have a handful of people also putting to cell body. And nowhere in there does the cell body tell me about nerve messages being sent back to the body. Good. Let's go ahead. We have one more page. We're going to go ahead and jump to it. On this page, I am going to read it to you. As I read, I want you guys to think about the words we could be looking up in the glossary, and then we're going to spend a little time looking those words up in the glossary. Has your family doctor ever tapped you on the knee with a little rubber hammer? Did you ever wonder why he did that? What your doctor is doing is checking your... which is another way of checking your nerves. A reflex is something your body does without even thinking about it. If someone jumps out of a closet at you, you may flinch. You will tighten up all the muscles in your body just in case the person is trying to hurt you. This is a reflex. When you pull away from a hot stove, that is also a reflex. When your doctor taps your knee, he's looking for a reflex action. If your leg moves a little, that's a sign that your nervous system is working as it should. Point to the caption at the bottom of page 39. Read it with me.
The doctor checks a boy's reflexes with a way to check his nerves.
What are some important things that we could look, or important words we could look up in the glossary today? Ray, what's an important word we could look in the glossary?
Maybe we could look at reflexes.
We see it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Is that an important one to look up?
Yes.
Charlie, what else could we look up? We could, but that's not on this page. On this page, what other words could we look up? Flinch. Third graders, you are going to get with your color partner today, and in the glossary, you are going to find reflexes and flinch, and because Charlie said it, let's look up dendrites too. Make sure together you find the word and what it means. Go.